Hey everyone, it is me, Phoenix XT, and today I've been saying I was gonna do this video and I haven't done it, and actually it's been like a week or two since I said I was gonna do it. And I know people were like actually wanting me to do this video. But anyways, I'm going to be discussing how I said in the last video. There was this teacher that was arrested at not at the actual high school, but he was a teacher slash professor at the high school because he taught dual enrollment. And so I'm just not going to name drop. But anyways, he taught dual enrollment and he was like a math instructor for it. So he was supposed to teach math to, But anyways, let me get further into it. So the reason why I felt the need to discuss about him is because usually I don't really care. Well, okay, I don't know about that. But anyways, when it comes to certain stuff like that, I've actually had experience with this. Oh my god, my hair is like sticking up wonky. Okay, I've actually had experience with this certain teacher. And let me tell you, no one really liked him. He was the worst. And not even just that, he was just a really bad instructor to the point where he wouldn't really teach the class. And this is also college class that he also supposed to teach. So he would use like videos for the longest, taught by Professor Leonard. We called him Professor Leonard because that's exactly who it was. If anyone's seen Professor Leonard, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, so basically, no one liked him because he couldn't teach. Any of the stuff that he would teach us, it was completely unclear. It was hard to understand anything. The way he explained it was just off. We've literally had to have another student explain to us thoroughly and go up to the board and write it down because he couldn't explain it correctly. So we were just sitting there like, what are you saying? And not only that, he was just like racist and a bit homophobic. Again, I'm going to go over that throughout the video. But, like, for example, a friend of mine, not going to say who she is, but I didn't ask her if she wanted me to mention who she was. But anyways, so a friend of mine, she is Afro-Latina. Okay? So she is black, yes, but she also comes from Hispanic descent. So one time we were in class, and I don't remember how this conversation had gotten up. I just remember what happened. So we had a small class because we were in dual enrollment. It was a small dual enrollment class, consisted of me, this one guy, my other friend, and this junior. So it was about 5 students. So in this class, he will ask us this question: who here can swim? Again, I do not remember how this conversation started or where it came from. But like, I feel like all of you guys know exactly where this is going to start going. So she didn't raise her hand. Okay? I'm not saying anything in this part. Like, she didn't raise her hand. She, I guess, has had issues in the past with swimming. Again, listen. As a friend, it's just like, oh my god. Anyways, so he looks at her, and he says, ever heard of the saying, black people can't swim? I know people have heard of it, people have said it, and whatnot. Like, it's a saying, like, it's whatever. People throw stereotypes all the time, no matter what. But I feel like also as an instructor at a high school, that's not completely appropriate to be saying. Again, I digress. So that's like one example that I can thoroughly remember. Like I said, we've all had issues with him as an instructor to a point that we've actually written a formal letter of complaint to like, we just said to whomever may concern, because we thought the principal might have done something about it. No one really did anything about it, but again, we wrote a formal letter of complaint. I did, this was, we got this done about a year ago, so I did discuss, talk to the girl that was in my class that had, written it, and asked her to send it to me, so I'm going to read you the formal letter of complaint. Dear Mr., this is the principal, we, the dual enrollment juniors and seniors of blank high school, desire to address multiple issues with one of your caterers. Listen, she used some big words here. Now, I know big words, but certain words I'm sitting here like, what does that mean? Anyways, the Matt 1033 professor, Mr. Blank Blank, since the beginning of the 2018-2019 academic year, students under instruction and direction of Mr. Blank have experienced, witnessed, and been the victim of racist remarks, stereotyping students due to their ethnicity or perceived ethnicity, fat shaming. Yeah, that happened. Again, I'll maybe go over it. Criticizing students for their weight and body composition. Self-esteem lowering, calling students stupid. Yes, he would call students stupid. A lot of math teachers do that, actually, there. You know, that's a story for another day. Inadequate instructional methods, consistently unable to properly and efficiently explain or solve his lectures/problems. Blatant violation of the school's tobacco uses policy. Yes, this guy literally would chew tobacco in front of us and then spit it in the trash can, and, like, it was disgusting, too, because he would make, like, this noise, and we were just like, okay, no. Okay, so he would do this all constantly. Like, you could see him spitting out, and when he would spit out, it was black. So we were sitting there like, yo, you shouldn't be doing that as a teacher. Like, people do it all the time. It's not like it's illegal. However, you're not supposed to do that as a teacher in school. I digress again. So anyways, while we perceive that Mr. Blank is capable of performing the mathematical task he assigns, he provides no valuable instruction to students. He begins the class period with a quick description of the task for the day, then rapidly progresses through a series of slides, not permitting students to truly understand or grasp the required techniques being presented. When students request assistance, Mr. Blank verbally berates them, asking if they are stupid, followed by his mocking their grasp of mathematical concepts. Despite the constant ridiculing of our teacher, we continue to ask questions as we require the knowledge to pass the class. Pretty freaking much. We have to, because if we do not pass the class with a C or a higher, if we get a D or F in dual enrollment, we actually get kicked out of the dual enrollment program, and that means no more free college credits. We have on multiple occasions requested additional assistance, but the assistance is not worth the mocking and degrading that it attracts. On the few instances that Mr. Blank has tried to explain his concepts, he has been unable to perform the proper steps to solve the problem and achieve a correct solution. We are unable to refer to a textbook as we were not assigned one. We bring these issues to your attention not as a means to show contempt for a teacher we dislike, rather to ensure that you understand the impact Mr. Blank's antics are having on your students. Students with a reputation of excellence are suddenly struggling to maintain a good grade. In fact, only 2 of 7 students are currently receiving a passing grade in this class. Students, maybe it was 7 students. Did I miss something? Oh, well. Are currently receiving a passing grade in this class. Students selected by cater and standardized testing to participate in advanced schooling. We take dual enrollment classes to challenge our minds and grow, not to be harassed by those being paid to mold our minds and prepare us for the future. Through research, we found that Mr. Blank's current classes are not the only ones to experience this type of behavior. For example, if you log into ratemyprofessor.com, you will see that all the way back to 2004, remarks about his terrible teaching and personality have been made, resulting in his rating being a 1.5. We actually had like a whole Snapchat group mocking this calling it 1.5 stars because this is an actual website. If you go on it, you can, I don't know if anyone's familiar, because when you go to college, you can go and see what professors have been rated to see whether or not you feel they'd be a good enough professor to teach you. And so we didn't know about it beforehand, but then we were looking at it online and it says 1.5 stars, and like a whole bunch of people were just talking about like how horrible a professor he was, and so on and so excuse me, so on and so forth. And we actually she actually put a link to the website under his review on it. Mr. Blank is currently the lowest ranking math professor at CF, and this is not due to the complexity of the course. It is overwhelmingly based on his behavior towards students and inept instructional methods. Please do not think that we are a class of students struggling with math that decided to run to the principal. We have sought and received counseling on multiple occasions from Mrs. Okay, so this is the dual enrollment counselor that's supposed to help us, and she didn't do squat either, and are taking the next step to resolve the situation. We appreciate your time and attention to this important matter. We are more than willing to discuss any of these topics with you in a formal or informal setting. Our main goal is to ensure that we receive proper instruction without the fear of verbal defamation or retribution. Sincerely, the students of Mr. Blank. And quite literally, we went around and had other students sign it, like it was a whole petition. And with all of that, they literally, all they did was called us each one by one as witnesses or whatever, and wrote statements about like what kind of stuff we've seen or heard him do. And like, they just, I don't know, they said, oh, we were going to investigate or whatever. Like, they didn't really do anything. They didn't do anything about it. He was still teaching there. And I was like, okay, I thought from all of that and the evidence, there was overwhelming evidence that he had been chewing tobacco. And that alone should get a teacher, either arrested, so. Maybe not so much arrested, but definitely fired for that. They could get fired because that's against the tobacco policy. And so with that much, he should have not been teaching. And they didn't do anything about it. And so I heard that he was still going to be teaching this year. But now, recent events show that he had gotten arrested. I'm still not sure exactly how or what led up to him getting arrested. He wasn't arrested at the campus, most likely at home or something like that. But if you look at his mugshot, it says that he had been arrested on charges of having an assault weapon, like a lethal weapon without intent to kill. So basically like a firearm. And again, like with no intent to kill, we're like, okay, so what were your intentions then? So he probably pulled a gun on somebody. I know a friend of mine has theories, and maybe it was his ex-wife. It was the whole thing. Listen, again, I'm not even sure if they still have actually fired him from the high school. I'm hoping they can't be continually this dumb and still have them there. But it just doesn't make sense. Like, how can you keep a teacher for so long with so much, all of this, students literally signing a petition and everything, nothing. And then when I talked to the dual enrollment counselor that we had on the campus, and I said, listen, this is this, and this, and this. He's not teaching anybody. Nobody's passing class, blah, blah, blah. And she literally said in these words, you try looking for somebody with a math degree to teach a math class, and we're sitting here and like, so in order for us to get a degree, we need to work with somebody who shouldn't have gotten his degree, but okay. Gotcha. So it was just like, it was a whole thing, and we were just kind of fed up with it. Pretty much everyone, I think it was everyone in my class, we passed the class, but with an arm and a leg, and very several mental breakdowns for sure. And we actually formed like a Snapchat group, and we would study before class at lunch in order to get enough information to make sure that we all understood, because at this point we didn't get any type of help from him because he just wasn't it. It was just nothing that he did was helpful. It was just god awful in that class. But what can I say? I mean, I'm not going to say that he deserved it. Well, okay, maybe he did deserve getting arrested, but karma comes biting people back in the butt. That's all I gotta say. And that's the story behind that teacher. Again, not naming names. If anyone sees this video, they might know exactly what I'm talking about. And they've probably all had their experience with him. I'm hoping this helps somebody and maybe lead some more people to going up to our high school counselors and be like, yeah, this, and this about this teacher. Like, y'all should have done something. I feel like out of part of my high school's job, they themselves should have been solving this issue, because about this time last year, we had all made complaints about him. And if this had been brought to higher attention and actually did what they should have done, we more students wouldn't have been dealing with him. And there was a lot of grades on the line on the line for different students, and it just shouldn't have happened. That's all I gotta say. All right. If you like this video, please like this video. If you thought this video was cool, like the video and subscribe, maybe. Okay. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed.